That's roughly how long it takes for a bully to scan a room and lock on to their next victim. Child psychologists have discovered that playground hierarchies form lightning fast, usually before anyone says a single word. Kids accidentally broadcast target through three things: hesitating, collapsing inward, or reacting emotionally. So parents tell their kids, just ignore them. But here's the problem. That classic advice actually strengthens the bullying. In dominant psychology, staying quiet reads as defeat, which paints an even bigger target on your child's back every single time. Today, we're unpacking the confidence shield, a behavioral science method that rewires these unconscious signals. Over the next 10 minutes, you'll discover the precise posture adjustments, mental frameworks, and 3 verbal formulas that shut down a bully's motivation cycle immediately. Most parents say, just walk away, or don't give them attention. And I understand why. You're coming from a protective place. You want your child safe, and confrontation feels risky. But peer behavior research reveals something unexpected. To a bully, silence doesn't communicate strength, it communicates weakness. Walking away doesn't say, I'm unbothered, it says, I'm overwhelmed. Here's what most parents miss. Every time your child goes silent, the bully's brain registers success. Silence isn't protection, it's confirmation. So what's the solution? Not aggression, but not disappearing either. Ignoring means pretending you didn't notice. That's evasion. What we want is grounded indifference, looking directly at them, feet planted, expression completely neutral. And it begins with what's happening in your child's mind.
Layer 1. The mental filter. Mindset. Words only damage when they reach your core. We're going to train your child to intercept those words before they land internally. The shift happened when we stopped telling kids to be tough and started teaching them to be selective, to distinguish truth from noise. Tonight at dinner, walk your child through this mental image. Picture an invisible barrier surrounding you. When someone throws cruel words, they collide with that barrier first, not your heart, not your sense of self. The barrier holds them. Then you ask yourself one filtering question. Is this actually true? If the answer is no, it's trash. And here's what you do with trash. You don't carry it. You don't store it in your mind. You step around it and continue forward. Practice this tonight. Your child says, someone told me I'm annoying. Pause. Before you rush to comfort, ask one question. Do you believe that's accurate? Then wait. Let them think. What you're building isn't denial. You're building discernment. Because strong people don't internalize every judgment thrown their way. They filter first. Once the mental framework shifts, the physical presence follows, and that's what bullies notice first. Layer 2. The physical presence. The body. What bullies read before your child speaks a word. How they stand, where they look, how much space they claim. Confidence registers physically before it's ever verbalized. Bullies hunt for physical tells before your child opens their mouth. Rounded shoulders, forced giggles, shrinking posture. They're predators scanning for anyone radiating uncertainty. Teach your child the mountain stance. Feet grounded, weight distributed evenly. Tell them, imagine you're a mountain, heavy, rooted, unmovable. Or use this, feel like your feet are magnets stuck to the ground. Spine straight, chin parallel to the floor, not tilted down, not tilted up. Shoulders relaxed and open, not curved forward. This stance sends one clear message. I have a right to be here. Now here's the game changer for kids who struggle with direct eye contact. One simple adjustment. Don't stare at their eyes. Focus on the bridge of their nose. To the bully, it looks like eye contact, but for your child, it removes the intimidation factor. They can hold that position without feeling vulnerable. This one tweak has eliminated bullying for kids who previously couldn't maintain a gaze.
Practice this during normal conversation. Remind them, mountain stance, bridge of nose. Turn it into a habit, because when stress hits, we revert to what's automatic. Make grounded presence automatic. Body language rewrites how people treat you before you ever speak. When your child occupies space confidently, they naturally become less targetable. Now we layer in the final piece, and this is where most kids unintentionally sabotage everything.
Layer 3. The neutral tone. This is where most kids destroy their own defense. Most kids counter bullying with either rage or panic. Both deliver exactly what the bully wants: emotional fuel. Bullies survive on reactions. Anger fuels them. Fear fuels them. Disinterest starves them. Behavioral scientists sometimes call this the stone wall approach, becoming as emotionally flat as a stone wall. Teach your child that expression. Calm, neutral, mildly bored, like someone just mentioned it might be cloudy next Thursday. Watch the difference in action. Bully: those shoes are hideous. Emotional response: no, they're not. Result: bully wins. Stonewall response: okay. Result: bully gets 0 reward. When a bully provokes and your child answers with steady, unbothered delivery, it eliminates the payoff. No meltdown, no visible hurt, just emptiness. And emptiness is the worst possible result for someone chasing attention through cruelty. Try this exercise tonight. Say to your child, "That shirt looks ridiculous." Have them reply in stonewall tone, "All right." Record it. Play it back. Let them hear the contrast between defensive energy and grounded calm. One critical heads up: when your child first adopts this tone, the bully may escalate temporarily. For maybe a day or two. Psychologists call this an extinction spike. The bully is panicking because their usual tactics stopped producing results. If it amplifies briefly, don't abandon the method. Stay consistent. Mindset, body, tone. That's the confidence shield. But before I share the exact scripts, we need to talk about where real confidence actually develops. Not at school, at home. Confidence starts at the kitchen table. Confidence doesn't originate in the classroom, it originates at your dinner table. If a child can't voice disagreement respectfully at home, they won't magically discover that skill with peers. If they can't decline a sibling's request without being dismissed, they won't decline a bully's pressure. The real conditioning happens in small, daily exchanges. Does your child feel safe saying, "I don't want physical affection right now"? Can they refuse a meal without triggering conflict? These micro-moments train their voice. If those boundaries aren't established yet, that's where you begin. Here's a real example. One family we worked with practiced respectful refusal for 6 weeks. They allowed their child to make small assertions like, "I need alone time," or "I don't want to play that right now." 6 weeks later, that same child used the identical calm delivery with a classmate who'd been harassing her. The bully attempted twice more, encountered the same flat response both times, and permanently moved on. The transformation was instant, like flipping a switch, not because the child became combative, but because she became unshakable. A child who feels heard at home doesn't perform for validation at school. Now, here's what that trained voice sounds like when they're standing in the school hallway with their pulse racing. The 3 anti-bullying scripts. When your child is in that moment, heart-pounding, bully in front of them, they need something simple and reflexive, not 10 choices. 3. Script 1. The confusion redirect. Bully says, "You're such a loser." Your child: "Why would you say that?" Calm, genuinely curious, like asking what someone had for breakfast. Now the bully has to justify themselves. Most can't. They freeze because meanness rarely has a logical foundation. This script flips the spotlight back onto the bully, forcing a moment of self-examination they weren't prepared for. Script 2. The agreement disarm. Bully says, "Your project looks terrible." Your child: "You might be right." Completely unbothered, turns and walks away. The bully is left standing there with nothing to push against. Safety note: Teach your child to use this only for subjective opinions, like your backpack is ugly. Never for physical threats, identity-based attacks, racism, or hate speech. For those, use script 3. Real example. A student used this when someone mocked his spelling. He looked at the kid, completely calm, said, "You might be right," and kept moving. The kid stood there confused, tried once more the following day, same response, gave up entirely. Bullies expect defense. They expect emotion. When your child calmly agrees, the attack collapses. Without the reaction, the bully loses all interest. Script 3, the boundary statement. Bully says, "Everyone thinks you're weird." Your child, "I don't like that. Stop." Firm, loud enough for others to hear. Not hostile, not timid. A clear boundary. This creates a public record and establishes a line. It signals to teachers, other students, anyone within earshot, this isn't acceptable and I'm naming it.
When parents must intervene, before you start drilling these scripts, I need to draw one non-negotiable line between empowerment and protection. The confidence shield builds resilience, but it is never a substitute for adult intervention when actual safety is threatened. Understand the distinction between social friction and bullying. Social friction is, your haircut is weird. Your child uses the shield, moves on. Bullying requires 3 elements: intent to harm, repetition, and power imbalance. The bully has more social status, physical size, or age advantage, and your child feels powerless to stop it. When it crosses into that territory, when there are physical threats, harassment targeting your child's identity, or you observe sudden withdrawal, fear, or drastic behavioral shifts, you intervene immediately. The confidence shield builds their internal armor, but when safety is on the line, you become their external armor. Always document everything, contact the school, and advocate relentlessly. This framework strengthens your child, but you are their protector when the situation requires it.
How this changes everything. Remember that 12-second moment from the beginning, when a bully scans the room, deciding whether to keep targeting your child, and your child stands there wondering if maybe the bully's right? The confidence shield doesn't erase that moment, but it transforms what happens next. Instead of absorbing the words, they evaluate them. Instead of shrinking, they stand rooted. Instead of replaying it all night, they release it. This isn't just about getting through elementary school. You're raising an adult who recognizes their value, who establishes boundaries without guilt, who doesn't collapse when someone attempts to diminish them. The confidence shield, mindset, body, voice isn't a quick solution. It's a framework they'll carry for life. Tonight at dinner, practice the stone wall expression and role-play one script 3 times. Choose script 1. Why would you say that? Drill it 3 times. Then share in the comments which script resonates most with your child. If you've applied any of these techniques, tell us what happened. Your child's power begins with the signals you help them build at home. And here's what most parents overlook. The language you use at home determines how solid this shield becomes.